Okay, time for GE6a, pages 18 and 19. Okay, so here we are on page 18. Page 18 is trying to teach us a sentence pattern. So on page 18, we have all of these sentences that follow the same pattern. Number 1 says, on Mondays, Steve must feed the dog. Steve has to feed the dog on Mondays. So let's break this down. And you know what? Let's compare it to numbers 2 and 3 to see how they are the same. Number 2 says, on Fridays, Debbie must clean the garden. Debbie has to clean the garden on Fridays. Tomorrow, Linda must do her laundry. Linda will have to do her laundry tomorrow. Okay, so let's see which one of these are the same and which ones are different. So here we have on Mondays. Here we have on Fridays. And here we have tomorrow. So that is our first part. Next we have Steve, Debbie, Linda. This is the subject of our sentence. It's the person that we are talking about. So that will be our number 2. Then we have the word must and then a verb. So we have must feed, must clean, must do. Then we have a noun. The dog, the garden, her laundry. Okay, now let's break down the second sentence. Steve has to feed the dog on Mondays. So here we have on Mondays, and here we have on Mondays. Then we have Steve. Then we have has to feed the dog. So let's mark down the dog. And we're left with must feed and has to feed. So we take out must and replace it with has to. So we went from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's see how it shakes out for numbers 2 and 3. Debbie has to clean the garden on Fridays. So it's the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. So let's see what it is for number 3. Linda will have to. Will have to do. Her laundry tomorrow. So it is still the same. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. But in this case, for number 3, must do became will have to do. So instead of must do, it was will have to do. Okay. Why is number 3 will have to instead of has to? It's because in number 3, we are talking about tomorrow. so we know that it is in the future. It is something that has not happened yet. Okay, now let's read the rest of the page. Okay, number 4. 30 minutes later, Corey must go to see a dentist. Corey will have to go to see a dentist 30 minutes later. 1 hour later, Anna must head for the airport. Anna will have to head for the airport 1 hour later. Next Sunday, Tina must vacuum the living room. Tina will have to vacuum the living room next Sunday. Last Thursday, Emily didn't water the plants. Emily had to. And instead of must, we have didn't. Last Thursday, Emily didn't water the plants. Emily had to water the plants last Friday. And number 8, last Monday, Eric didn't wash his car. Eric had to wash it last Tuesday. Okay, now let's go to the next page. Page 19. Okay, let's go over the sentence pattern and make some example sentences. My father had to wash the dishes this morning. His grandma will have to clean the dining table later. You can combine most of these together to make any sentence you want. Okay, let's go down to the rest of the page. Let's make some sentences like the example. Louis helped his brother yesterday. His mother made him. Louis had to help his brother yesterday. Okay, let's break this down. Louis helped his brother yesterday. Sally went grocery shopping last night. So we have Sally and Louis went and helped grocery shopping his brother yesterday, last night. His mother made him. Her father made her. Okay. That's always going to be the same. Then the example it says, Louis had to help his brother yesterday. So we have Louis. It's always going to be had. So had to is always going to be in the answer. Louis had to help his brother yesterday. So the order is the same, but we get rid of this sentence and we replace it with had to. So let's try number 1. Sally went grocery shopping last night. Her father made her. Sally had to go grocery shopping last night. So we change went to go because had to is already about before. It is already about the past. So the verb that we're using, went, we can change it to the present form. So the present form of went is go. Go, went, gone. We're changing it from this form to this form. So let's try number 2 together. Can stay indoors yesterday morning. His aunt made him. Ken had to stay because we're making it present tense, so we get rid of the ed. Ken had to stay indoors yesterday morning. Okay, let's do one more. They did some housework last week. Their grandma made them. They did some housework last week. They had to do. Because the form that comes before did is do. Do, did, done. They had to do some housework last week. Okay, now let's go down to the rest of the page. Okay, on the rest of the page, we have another example for making any sentence that you want. So let's make one together. Sally has to walk the dog soon. Ken's sister will have to fly to London next week. Okay, great. Now we're done with GE. You can put GE away.